Yep. Nope.
Oh, we're good to go. Are they all in?
So we've got 2 attendees there. So I'm going to be sending to you right now.
Okay, awesome. We've got, we still have a few people logging in. So we're just going to give them a minute or two to get settled and then we'll get underway. So we've got a few people on right now. We'll just wait another minute so that I know a lot of people are still trying to log in and then we'll get started. Okay, we'll get started, guys. So thank you for everybody jumping on so far. So just to give you guys a quick heads up, so today's webinar is being recorded. We will be able to share a link with you after the event is complete so that you can revisit this content again. Just a few quick ones. On the bottom corner, there's an option, there's a more button. This tool is available for guests who likes to ask a question during the presentation. So while myself, Jess, or Lee is talking, you guys can press the more button and ask us a question through the chat online. So just some quick introduction. So my name is Donna. I'm the account manager government. I'm assisting the employer looking for some candidates. I've got my colleague here, Jess. Jess is also on board. And then we also got the employer who is on this chat now, who is Lee, who his camera's on sideways. Awesome. So thanks, guys. This is for meat work roles with task labor, which is counterparted with ACC, which is Australian Country Choice. They are located in Cannon Hill. They have up to 20 roles. So this means knife hands, laborers, possible forklift drivers. There are a few criterias and requirements that candidates need to meet, but we'll go into that shortly. The shifts are day and night shifts, so you need to be available day, also at nighttime. Lee will go into details about what the rosters looks like, but it's available 7 days a week. So yeah, I'm going to introduce Lee. He's going to go into details about all the roles he has available. And please, again, if you have any questions, please use that more button on the bottom to ask us a question, or we do have a slot open that you can ask freely to the employer. So Lee, all yours.
Hey guys. So real simply, we just supply labour on site to ACC in all types of roles, kill floor, boning room, and into our further processing. So we start from entry level, no experience, to full roles of slaughterman and qualified boners, and then everything in between. Generally, Monday to Friday is our kill and bone. Boning is a cold storage room. Kill floor is normal temp. So it's a big variety of, I guess, what we're not used to in the normal outdoor world. So you can be working at 7 degrees in a fridge, but still sweat it out, and you can be working in the kill floor and get cold. So it's a bit of both. The roles that we're mainly after at the moment are our more of our labouring roles. So you come in, not so much experience, but it is hard work. We have a lot of fast-paced, fast-packing roles, mainly heavy lifting. So it does get pretty full on, and there's some good sides and bad sides of the kill floor, where you'll see there's quite bloody areas, and we have a few rooms where we take apart the stomach and intestine, so a bit of a smell and a bit of a, I guess, grossness to it. Day shifts kick off from 5 a.m. In our primary processing. Our further processing kick off at 4 a.m. They're on a Monday to Friday roll, and then afternoon shift comes in at about 2:30, and both shifts are on average an 8-hour shift, give or take overtime and a good run or a bad run. So night shift probably pick up a bit more overtime there at the end of the night if things haven't gone so well. And we pretty straightforward, I guess. I don't know. Now I'm stuck. So yeah, the roles, I'd say physically fit. You don't have to be an athlete to fill the roles. Just being able to stand on your feet for a long day. As the roles, you do pretty much 3 up to 3 hour runs. So you come in, start till smoko, then smoko to smoko, and then smoko to finish. So 2.5 to 3 hours straight on your feet in gumboots. It's probably the hardest thing to get used to for the first week, is just being in the boots, in the cold. Your body's going to adjust to it, but everyone in their first week will say, oh, sore arms, sore feet. But that's just your body getting used to it. I started from a young age and I hated it, but it turns out 14 years later that it's an industry that will pay the bills and it doesn't go away. So it's not the worst thing to do. The pays are pretty good for what's around it. Starting a no skilled role. We start from about $25 an hour with the day shift guys, and the night shift would start from, off memory, by about 28, and that's just coming in with no skills. You can progress from a labourer to a knife hand, and work your way through a lot of roles that we have. Oh, I don't know how to use this. Do you need to bring your own knives and gumboots? That question, no, we supply all PPE. If you had your own knives from working previously, yes, you could bring them. Otherwise, no, we have everything supplied on site. Skilled roles, or anybody with experience previously, is always the advantage, but not needed, because we do have very good on-site training. Yeah, I don't know what's next. Oh, no.
Thanks, Lee. Just a few questions. Do you have, how many breaks do you get in the day shift?
So your 2 main breaks, which are 30 minutes, you have 2 of them. And then there's also a 5-minute lapo break. So midway between, if we started at 5 and we go to first break for 30 minutes at 9 o'clock, halfway through that, there's a 5-minute break as well. So if you need to run out to the loo or just sit down for 5 minutes, same with night shift, two 30-minute meal breaks and 2 5-minute lapos. If we're doing half an hour's overtime, there'll be a 3rd lapo break in the last run as well.
Okay, so just with Dean, Dean's questions, do you need to bring your own knives and gumboots? We can also assist with PPE gear.
Yeah.
And I'll get Jess to go into details about that one. Support system.
Yeah, so if you are selected to start with tasks, it is case by case, so we can't confirm right here that you will be given everything you need, but definitely if you do need some steel cap boots or if you need some new clothes or anything like that, please let us know when we're calling you so that we can make contact with your coach and your branch leader. From there, they can take you shopping or go get it for you and make sure you have it by the time that you start.
So I hope that answered your question, Dean. We've got another question. Is there any public transport during the times you work?
There was, but now there's not because our shift start times on day shift have moved back an hour. So previously we did have public transport available using the train networks, which used to get you here on time. And we did have a shuttle bus that ran down, but shifts have been changed. So no, the start time is earlier than public transport. Then afternoon shift, getting here would not be an issue, but getting home, you get the same problem if you were catching a train or a bus, that the finish time is actually later than what they run generally.
So Lee, you're okay if they use like Uber to go home in, but can get a suitable ride there?
Yeah, like if they want to go down that road, that's definitely the option. We do have a lot of people that do that to and from with Ubers or DD or whatever else is out there. There's a few of them now. So yeah, like we do have people currently in that situation that just find it easier to catch a Uber home and to work, but it's definitely an option that's available.
Awesome. So we're just going to go into the process on how to apply and the requirements of this role, which Jess will go into details now.
Okay, so after this, you will be sent a link, guys. So if you are interested in applying for a role with tasks, please register your details. So we're going to need your name, your contact details, such as your phone number, your email address, and if you want to, I think there's a comment box as well with the link. So anyone that does register, you will be sent, it will be sent to us. So we will contact you today. And we'll go through the screening process. So please make sure that your phone is on. And when we do call you, please respond in a way as if we are the employer. So we're going to ask a few questions. How are you going to get to and from work? What's your availability look like? Do you have any transferable skills? Do you have any licenses or qualifications? All those sort of things. We will ask you about yourself. Do you have any caring responsibilities? Do you have religious commitments that you can't work on the weekend or anything like that? The better we get to know you, the better we are to assess whether or not you're going to be suitable for the role. Now we are going to ask you some personal questions around your physical fitness. Can you pass testing? You will be required to pass a pre-employment medical for this role. You're also going to need to be able to pass drug and alcohol screening. And if you don't already have a Q fever immunization, you're going to need to get one of those as well. And if you have any questions around that, I am happy to answer them when I call you. So once we go through that, we have our chat on the phone. We will be presenting your resume to you if we think that you're suitable. From there, we will organise medicals and things like that. And you will need to go through a registration and induction process before you commence. So you will need to have access to a computer. If you don't have one at home, please let me know when I'm screening you so we can organise for you to come in on site and use ours. So this all does take a couple of days. Sometimes we can get all of this done in up to 3 days. It really does depend on when we can get you in for medical and when we would be able to get you in for an induction. So yeah, if you have any questions, please ask it in the chat. Otherwise, feel free to ask me on the phone.
So Lee, very quickly, do you want to touch base on what the medical?
Yeah, I was about to say. So the medical, it's not just a walk in, walk out check with the doctor. He will do it's almost like a full body check to make sure you've got no injuries or previous injuries that could be an issue. Drug and alcohol testing first, so straight up, that's out of the way. Through the medical, it's a bit of a fitness, hop on the spot, squat, lift this, bend that way. Kind of just gives the doctor an all-round idea of where your body's at the time. It's not going to fail or pass anybody on their physical fitness levels. It just gives us an idea, so then we can look at which roles are more suitable. So if we had somebody that wasn't quite suitable by the medical, then we're not going to put them into a role which pretty much sets you up to fail. We kind of work with what the doctor gives us. So if someone can lift 100 kilo, bend over backwards and do a cartwheel, then they're pretty much fit for any role that we need. But the medical, it is a little bit full on, but it's just so we can rule out anything that can go wrong in that respect.
Yeah. So in the medical, guys, you'll be doing all types of exercises. You will be doing lifting. You'll be lifting with a weight. You'll be doing sit-ups, push-ups. I think in one, they mix it up a little bit. You'll be doing a plank. They'll be doing eye testing.
Grip strength,
Yeah.
eye testing, hearing testing. It's full body basically.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a skin hand test. So if anybody had eczema or anything that could possibly affect with the packing of meat, because when we talk about packing meat, we're packing people's food. So that's the way that we need to sort of understand that it's not just meat, it's people's food that we're handling. So anything that looks like it could create any problems towards the meat, then that'll be checked up on there. Eye test, hearing test, skin test, grip strength, like saying some planking, squatting, bending, lifting weights, holding for a period of time. What's going on here? And it was a sweet with there. So the medical, it's roughly 20 minutes by memory, and they go through just everything that we need to assess somebody on site.
Yeah, so it's so important that if we do start, give you a call after this webinar, that you are open to us about if you have pre-existing injuries. We just want to make sure that we're putting you in a correct environment. Yeah, so again, drug and alcohol is the first testing that we go through, the medical. And that's also just to capture, because you need to be alert at all times, because you've got forklifts roaming around, you've got OH&S on site all the time. And again, you're dealing with knives, meat, food, etc. We have a few questions, Lee. So Is there a canteen or cafe on site or close by?
We don't have a canteen on site. We have a large variety of vending machines with your standard snacks and drinks, but we also have vending machines that have microwave meals. So like when you go to a servo and you'll get like the sausage rolls or the chicken and gravy rolls, pies, things that you can throw in the microwave. And there's also a large variety of pre-made sandwiches and some pre-made microwave dinner meals. So like the ones you buy in Woolies that you just throw in the microwave, those type of dinners. They've also got those in there.
We've got another question. Do you get a choice of working day or night?
Yep. So we try to work with what suits the candidate best. So if somebody couldn't work afternoon shift and we told them that's all we had available, we wouldn't force them into it because we know they're not suitable for that role. So the choice is day or night, and then if you have a preference, then we work with that.
Okay, are they open to trying different areas?
Yes and no. So yes, because we don't get stuck in the one role, but if you came in, say, into the kill floor and didn't like it, we do have the option to try something else, but it may not be available at the time. So we pretty much fill roles as they become available. And if somebody didn't like that role and there wasn't anything else available, then I wouldn't be able to try and move them around quite so easily.
Okay. So do we have any more questions coming through? Wait a minute, sorry. No? Lee, do you have anything else to share? Anything that they need to know?
Not in particular. Like for us, we don't have issues with weather or anything that stops work. So here at ACC, I've been here 4 years with Task, and I've actually worked here myself 2 years, one with the kill floor and one with the bone. And in that time, the only time that we did not have work available was in the Brisbane floods a few years ago, when the Premier announced all of Brisbane as a non-work day. So besides that, we've had work 5 days a week, every week of the year since I know of. So there's no issues if people are thinking like some industries get affected by weather, or even other companies in the same industry are affected with the weather. For us, it's not an issue. So guaranteed 5 days a week work is available. That's kind of like that.
What's the environment like? Like, what are the type of candidates that work there? Is it a diverse environment?
You've lost me. On site, it's a very multicultural site. Very, very multicultural. There's probably not a country that's not working here at the moment. So we don't expect everyone to be the same, but we expect everybody to work together quite well and as a team. And I don't know what you meant by that other question.
No, that's all good. You answered it. So tell us, in what, all your years of experience, tell us what a successful candidate looks like for ACC.
So for us, basically, if somebody turns up to work, even if somebody had some problems, they come to us and we try to resolve them. But mainly, attendance is what makes a good worker progress. So if you come to work, you're doing your job every day, you will progress further in the industry than somebody that's having to be spoken to weekly about attendance or attitude. So for us, we just like, if we've got people that want to work, can see that there's always going to be room to progress, and with that comes higher earnings. So the more jobs you can learn, the higher the pay rate will become. So successful and long-going employees for us are just people that have that work ethic and want to work. Brisbane has a bit of an advantage that it's not a small country town where the abattoir is 15 minutes out on the side of the highway out of town. It's very city-based, where we're only 10 minutes out of the city here at Cannon Hill. So it gives you a good lifestyle, good money. Like I was saying before, you don't have to worry about work not being available because it's 5 days a week. So if there's people that just want long-term, committed to the job, that's all we want as well, is just happy life, happy workers.
Happy life, happy workers.
Yeah, I kind of lost it then. That's what I was going with.
And tell us in a few words, what does an unsuccessful candidate look like for ACC?
Oh, straight away, if you start at work Tuesday and you're having a day off Friday, that's going to be the biggest thing straight away. So our supervisors are pretty hard to work with if you're not turning up to your shift. So that's our biggest thing at the moment is absenteeism. And the absenteeism now, they all point the finger at JobKeeper or whatever else is out there. But we've kind of, if there's people that are continuously just having days off, then we know we've started with the wrong person.
Okay. We got a question for you, Lee. So if you work a day shift and someone doesn't show up for the night shift, can you work the night shift also?
We do have overtime in that sense on a Monday or a Friday. So if it was a Monday and you normally work afternoon shift, if day shift was short, we do have the option to call people in for the overtime. And then vice versa, if it's a Friday and you work day shift but night shift are short-staffed, you have the chance then to work that shift as well. During the week in between, they can offer overtime, say for the first run, which would be a couple of hours, but not the entire shift. So if you're on day shift and you've started at 5 o'clock and they finish at 2, you would be able to stay till probably their first dinner break around 6 o'clock. But then they'd send you home after that so you can get enough rest and then start the next shift the next day.
So you can do both shifts?
In a part, yeah. So with overtime is available for both shifts, before and after their shift, depending if they were day or night. Because that's currently the way we do it now. If day shift set up and night shift already know they're going to have 15 people away, we will try and ask a few people if they want to stay back and do an extra run, but it wouldn't be the full shift because starting at 5 a.m. and finishing at midnight and then starting at 5 a.m. again, we lose our responsibility of the amount of time in between shifts.
So can you do mixed? Can you do like 2 day shift, 3 night shifts, or is it a set roster?
No. So you're set to, if you're hired on day shift, your shift is day. And if you're hired for afternoons, then your shift is afternoon.
And I know you touched base on this earlier, but can you talk about the shift rosters? Because I know, like, you know how you get your 2-day weekends?
Yeah.
Throughout the whole week. Can you touch base on that? And
Yep. So we do have 2 different types of rosters. Our standard Monday to Friday with our primary processing, which is our kill and bone. Our further processing work a little bit different with their day shift, where it's spread between Monday and Saturday, but you only have 4 shifts out of the 6 days. So the way it works is you do 4 9.5-hour days, which makes up 38 hours. And it's a 3-week rotational roster where you'll have a Monday and a Tuesday off. The following week, you'll have a Wednesday, Thursday off. And then the following week, you'll have Friday, Saturday off. And then that starts all again. So every time you get Friday, Saturday, you'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, and then come back to work. Each week is still made up of 38 hours, just spread out in different days. Ideally, if I had the choice, I'd be on that, because a 5-day weekend every third week would be great. But we're not that lucky.
Okay. Do we have any more questions coming through? No more add-ons from you, Lee?
Q fever, a few people get a little bit iffy about it. The stories that it can make you sick or anything, Q fever has no effect whatsoever in that way. It's a vaccination, just like the flu vac, just a jab in the arm. It stays with you for life, so you only need one vaccination in a lifetime. And all it does is it takes the risk away of the possibility of Q fever infection, which you're not at risk in most of our departments. It's mainly around live cattle and towards the start of the kill floor. But because the site does have live cattle coming on site through the trucks, everybody on site is vaccinated. So you may be in a department that has 100% guarantee that you're not at risk, but you'll still have the vaccination just to be safe.
We have a question.
All right.
What do you process lambs, sheep, beef, pig?
So we are a beef processing plant. Back in the day, they did everything from beef, pigs and lambs, but now beef only. We do further process lamb, but that's not killed here. So for our primary kill and bone is just beef.
Anything else you want to add on? It's a good environment to work in.
Yeah, like I started when I was 17. I didn't even know what the abattoir was. I was 17 and needed a job, so I applied for a labourer's role. And within 12 months, I'd gone from a labourer's packer's role to learning to use knives, which then got me up slicing and boning, then went through that. So at that age, all I wanted was more money. And that's what the industry has. It has a chance to go from a starting entry-level wage to some of our guys, like the guys on ACC, the company's books are earning $40 odd an hour to slaughter or to bone. So for the industry, that's quite high. And I guess in general, that's quite a good pay rate. So it kind of sort of sits there. If you think, right, I'm going to come to work at 25 an hour, but I have potential that if I want to do the hard yards, I could be earning up to $45 an hour. People look at that and think, right, I'm going to give that a go. So it's definitely something there is not an incentive, but just to progress and push themselves to want to do better.
So there's potential for movement within the next months.
Yeah, if someone comes in and they're ticking all the boxes straight away, good attendance, good attitude, really gives their job a go that they start with, supervisors see that, and that's when they think, okay, I'm going to move that guy up now because they've ticked all the right boxes, they're doing all the right things. They obviously want to do better than just this role, and that's how it all starts. It all comes back to the person. So the job's there, everything's available. It just depends if the person wants it or not.
Can you give us an example of what a supervisor looks out for prior than the original things that they require for the role? Like you have attitude, good attendance. What else do they look for?
So they'll sort of look like a lot of our roles are pretty much a team effort. So example, if we're packing trim, there's 4 guys there together. And if he can see, even though you have the good attendance and you've got the right attitude, but you just don't have, I guess, what it takes to be part of that team, and 3 of the other guys are sort of hitting their targets, but you're sort of dragging along and the rest of the team are carrying it, supervisors will pick up on that. And the other guys, they'll pretty much let them know as well. So being the the perfect employee with good attendance and all that isn't just the only thing they're looking at. Being part of the team and working well with the team around them, especially, like I said, it is very multicultural. So you could have a Korean guy on one side of you and a Fijian guy on the other side, and they might not even talk to you. You just got to work your job. But if everyone's in there and trying to be, I guess, as friendly as they can with the guys they are and work as a team, that's the main thing that a supervisor will pick up whilst they're on the job, is who works well with others and who doesn't. Because the ones that don't will be the ones that create dramas along the line.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you want to share?
No, I'm about half an hour behind on my induction.
Okay, cool. No, that's all good. We're going to go into our what's next, which Jess will just explain. We got one more question. If you travel from the north side, is the gateway the easy way to go?
Definitely. From the gateway, if you've come north and coming south, it's the first exit, 2 minutes around the corner. So what's a couple of bucks to go over the gateway now? Or whatever, I don't even know. But yeah, if you're coming and want to avoid traffic, that's definitely the easiest way to get there. Is straight over, one exit, 2 minutes around the corner.
Awesome. So if you have any other questions, guys, we will follow up with you after this webinar. But I'll hand it over to Jess on what's next.
Okay, so as I said earlier, you will be receiving a link. So if you are interested, please register your details and we will contact you. Also, we do have other webinars happening this week. So we have a labour hire webinar and we also have a health webinar coming up as well. If you would like to see some other industries, please let us know, either respond on here or let us know when we contact you, and we can see if we can get something organised around that as well. Other than that, thank you for coming today.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us on today's webinar. If you have any additional questions or would like to connect with us directly, please let your employment coach know, or you can send us an email via the link. Thank you for your time, everyone. Lee, thanks for joining us. And we will talk to you guys later. Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Cheers. We just leave. Yeah.